This is Colonel Fred Umphrey, retired National Guard. Um, Gonna do a local history project for us. Colonel, do you remember any of Nixon's presidency?
Some of it, yeah.
Any outstanding stuff in that time period?
Well, of course, President Nixon was president towards the end of the Vietnam War, and was the president that actually brought the troops back from Vietnam. Of course, got caught up in the Watergate scandal and all of that, and ended up resigning from the presidency rather than be impeached.
Cool. How did you feel about the troops coming home from Vietnam?
Good. Of course, it was a tough time. The military really took a big shot because of the Vietnam War, which was not popular at all in the United States. So the military suffered because of that. But it was great to get to see that conflict come to an end.
Do you mind if I ask, why wasn't the war popular?
Um, a lot of reasons. The draft was in effect, and it wasn't a popular war because of, the United States people. They were not behind the war effort, and a lot of citizens felt that we were in a place that we shouldn't be. So it just skyrocketed and took off, and the anti-war protest movement just gained a lot of steam, and it was just a challenging and unpopular time for us. So.
Were you in the military?
No, I was still in high school. I actually, when I went in the military, the Vietnam War was coming to a close.
So how did you feel about Vietnam? Were you
Um,
against or for?
Really at hard at the time because we as a young person you really aren't wrapped up in that. You're thinking about other things like what you're going to do with your life or whatever. But when I was drafted, I ended up not going, but didn't really 6 one, half dozen of another. If I went, I went. If I didn't, that's fine too.
So you didn't really have any feelings towards it?
No, not at the time because I really didn't research it a whole lot. We just knew that it was there, and then, of course you saw it every night on the news. The body counts and things. So it was a visual all the time. But
Yeah. So what was Watergate or Nixon scandal about?
Watergate. Well, basically what happened is the Watergate Hotel was the Democratic Convention headquarters, and some of the, a better way of saying it, the Republican operatives went into the hotel and actually ransacked rooms and things to get things against the Democratic Party, and as it turned out, the president was aware that this was going on, and some people say he actually condoned it. So, which of course led up to the scandal and his resignation.
What did you think about that?
Well, I didn't think it was right, and when he resigned, I think it was the right thing for him to do. I mean, obviously, in a democracy like we've got, you can't allow that type of thing to go on. I mean, we're a free society based on allowing people to voice their opinions without feeling threatened and that kind of thing. So I think it was the right thing for him to do at the time. So.
Doesn't sound like Nixon did a whole lot of things. How did you feel about his presidency
Oh,
overall?
he wasn't a bad president. Of course, he opened the door with China. It was because of him that we started trading with China again. I mean, China was considered, there was that bamboo curtain, like the Iron Curtain in Europe with the communist countries. The bamboo curtain in Asia was all part of what China represented, and Nixon actually did a lot to get the Chinese and the Americans to start communicating.
So behind all the scandals and stuff, it really wasn't that bad?
Um, those things always take front seat when it comes to things. But President Nixon was a very determined and dedicated individual. He actually was, and I still think that he had the country in mind. It was just an unfortunate thing, and he allowed it to happen. And consequences, you have to pay for the consequences. So, and that's what he did. He ended up resigning from the presidency.
So you were around for the Kennedy assassination,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I was in the 6th grade.
Wow. So do you have much of an opinion on that?
Well, again, being at that age, we were just reacting to what was going on around us. I remember the announcement came while we were in school that he had been shot, and I remember they closed school, and we actually were out of school for 3 days,
Wow.
and the country there was a lot of concern that the country was going to be attacked, and that there were going to be other assassinations and things. So it was kind of a trying time, that in that way. So from what I remember of it.
Yeah. Well, skipping ahead, I was very young when 9/11 happened,
Mm-hmm.
like 2nd grade.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about that?
Well, I was in my office, in my battalion command office, and we had received a call, from actually one of the family members saying that the tower had been a plane had run into the tower, and we actually had a TV in one of the rooms and went in and watched, and we actually saw the second plane hit the tower, and so things obviously started to happen. We locked everything down and waited for orders from headquarters to see what we should and shouldn't be doing. We ended up putting security at the airports and things. So it was pretty testy at that time. We didn't know what was going to happen. So everything got grounded. So it was pretty exciting for a short time.
So overall, kind of a just major security reaction.
Yep. Large. Of course, everything got locked down. The headquarters in Augusta got locked down. It was just, we had to do an inventory of all our weapons and things like that. We had to make sure all the everything that was outside was secured. At the time we had howitzers and things, so we had to make sure that of course no one's going to come in actually and hook onto a howitzer and drive off with it, but we still had to make sure that everything was where it was supposed to be, which we did. So.
Sounds trying.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it would have been a major pain.
Well, it is, but not knowing what's going to happen, you have to make sure, because we didn't know if we were going to be, next thing you know, we'll be loading on trucks and heading to a mobilization station or what. We just had to, wait and see what was going to happen. So it was interesting.
So did you have any ideas? Like most people made assumptions that we were getting ready to be invaded or something.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. But we knew. Once that second plane hit the tower, we knew it was definitely some kind of a terrorist attack. So I'd never really even thought that there would be any kind of an invasion or anything. Because obviously, to invade the United States, you'd have to have a pretty dynamic and large force to do that. And how do you do that without people finding out about it? So it was more of being concerned about spotty attacks everywhere across the country, things like that. So.
Sounds pretty logical.
Yep.
Actually.
Okay.
Oh, thanks, Colonel.
Okay.